Chapter 1. My name is Emily Carter, and when I was 16, I learned that social rank in a small-town high school wasn't measured by grades or kindness, but by what your parents did for a living, and how good you were at pretending it didn't matter. If I ever tried to act like all of us were the same, Lily Covington made sure to correct my mistake. She was the queen bee, platinum blonde, green-eyed, and heir to the Covington law firm dynasty. Her second-in-command, Sarah Mayfield, had this nervous smile that said she knew better but followed anyway. Together, they ruled the glossy, high-ceilinged cafeteria with snickers and sneers as sharp as the new iPhones they flashed in the hallways. I was, in their words, Emily the hand-me-down, daughter of a glorified babysitter and a nail-banger. In other words, my mom was the only freshman English teacher at Foxdale High, and my dad was a carpenter who built the desk in my bedroom. That Tuesday in November, I pressed my lunch tray close to my stomach and kept my head down as I edged toward my usual table. I was halfway there when Lily's sing-song voice hooked through the air, so sweet it nearly rotted my teeth. "Oh, look, it's Miss Custom Furniture. Tell me, Emily, does your dad make all your stuff out of recycled pallets, or can he actually afford real wood?" Laughter choked the space by the vending machines. I froze. I could feel my cheeks heating as everyone turned, spoons and sandwiches pausing midair. Sarah piped in, lazy and cruel. "Yeah, and does your mom ever get tired of babysitting teenagers all day? Or did she just decide to aim low on purpose?" The words crushed my chest and sapped my voice. I wanted to say something smart, something that would make them shrink away. But I just stood there, clutching my tray so hard my knuckles whitened. Megan, my best friend, wave of black hair disappearing beneath her hoodie, was already moving before I could, standing up at our table. "Oh, please, Lily," she called. "Like you even know what a toolbox looks like." I wanted to thank her, but embarrassment made me slow, lead-footed. I sat down and picked at my sandwich, wishing I could disappear. After lunch, Megan met me at my locker, her face fierce. "You can't let them get away with it, Em. You have to say something." "It'll only make it worse," I whispered. I avoided her gaze, staring at the sticker from her favorite band on her notebook instead. My heart hammered from the leftover adrenaline. I wasn't brave, not like Megan. She snorted. "Worse than that. They already think you're beneath them. What's the point then?" The last bell rang before I could force a response. As we wandered to English class, I noticed Mr. Thompson watching from down the hallway. Most people only saw a graying 50-year-old in corduroy with more patience than our entire guidance staff combined. But I saw the only teacher who seemed to use the word journalism, like it was magic. After class ended, as everyone drifted out, Mr. Thompson stopped me with a gentle hand on my shoulder. "Emily, you've been quiet lately," he said. His voice was low and kind, without the prying edge most adults pressed in. I managed a smile, but it was brittle. "Just tired. Junior year, you know." He glanced at my last assignment, ungraded but marked with a post-it. "Come see me." He gestured to the empty room. "Have a minute." I hesitated, but the concern in his stare softened my resistance. I stayed, twisting the strap of my backpack as students. Voices faded down the hall. "Your writing isn't just good. It's angry, Emily," he said gently. "Is someone giving you trouble?" The silence stretched between us. I bit my lip. "It's nothing," I said, the lie burning on my tongue. Nothing usually doesn't make a student as engaged as you start missing class discussions. He waited, patient as sun on old wood. I looked at my shoes. "It's just Lily and Sarah, I faltered. "They make fun of my parents and me." He nodded, concern pulling at the corners of his mouth. "That's not nothing, Emily." I wanted to tell him everything. The cafeteria, the knives hidden in laughter, the way it crawled into my chest at home, even though I tried to leave it outside. "I don't want to make it worse. If I report them, they'll just find other ways." He considered this. "Maybe, or maybe people will see someone standing up for herself. Bullies start to shrink when lights shined on them, Emily, just like mold." He grinned, and for the first time all day, I almost laughed. He scribbled something on my paper. "If you ever want to talk or write." He handed it back, and I saw his email in neat, looping handwriting. "I take extra credit in the form of short stories," he joked. I clutched my notebook tighter. "Thank you, Mr. Thompson." That night, nerves trailing electricity under my skin, I spread my homework across the kitchen table. My mom graded essays in her chair, pencil tucked behind her ear. My dad's boots sat by the door, smelling faintly of sawdust, a familiar, steady comfort. The kitchen was warm, and the quiet hum of old appliances dulled the scars left from earlier. When Mom looked up, her gaze was soft. "Rough day." I almost told her. The words snagged on my throat. Instead, I mumbled, "Just school stuff." She reached over and squeezed my hand. "You know, Emily, no matter what anyone says, the only people who decide your worth are you, and maybe the people at this kitchen table." I nodded, holding on to that. But even as I finished my essay, I promised myself, tomorrow I would find a way to be braver, even if it was only on paper. I walked into school holding my backpack tight. My hands were sweating, and my stomach hurt. I just wanted to make it to lunch without anyone noticing me, but deep down, I knew it was not going to happen. As I turned the corner, I saw Lily with her perfect hair. Sarah was right next to her, laughing too loud. They both looked at me like I was dirt. "Hey, look, it's Emily the hand-me-down," Lily shouted. Other kids turned to look. My face burned. I wished I could disappear. Sarah pointed at my shoes and said, "Are those your mom's old shoes? They look so cheap." I wanted to talk back. I wanted to say something smart, but my mouth felt glued shut. I just kept walking, pretending I did not hear them. Then Lily yelled even louder. "Maybe your dad can fix your shoes with his dirty hands, if he's not too busy making more junk furniture." Kids laughed. I could feel my eyes getting wet. I forced myself not to cry. I promised myself I would not cry in front of them again. I hurried to the cafeteria and found Megan. She was waiting at our table, headphones around her neck. What happened?" Megan said. Her eyes were worried. I sat down fast and tried to hide my shaking hands. "Lily and Sarah," I whispered. "They were so mean, in front of everyone, again." Megan frowned. "Those two are the worst. You have to tell someone, Emily." I shook my head. "No, I can't. It'll just get worse. If I tell, they'll find new ways to make school terrible." "That's not fair," Megan said. "You shouldn't have to go through this alone." She reached over and squeezed my hand. It helped a little, but I still felt alone. At the end of lunch, I picked up my tray to leave. I heard Lily's voice echo behind me. "Don't forget to thank your mom for babysitting us later, Emily," she said. Sarah laughed, but not as loud as before. For a second, I thought I saw her look a bit sorry, but then she turned away. I rushed into English class. I sat in the back, hopping to blend in, but Mr. Thompson was not fooled. After everyone else left, he stopped me by the door. "Emily, can you stay a moment?" he said. I nodded, staring at my feet. He closed the door and sat on the edge of his desk. "I can see you've been down lately. Would you like to talk about it?" I tried to keep my voice steady. "It's just school stuff, tests and homework, I'm fine." He looked at me, his eyes soft and careful. "Emily, you don't have to pretend. I see you, you know. I see how you work hard in class, but something else is going on, isn't it?" My heart was beating so fast. I wanted to tell him. I wanted someone to help me, but I was scared. "It's just people are being mean," I said. My voice was tiny. He nodded. "Do you want to tell me more?" I swallowed. "Lily and Sarah, they always make fun of my parents' jobs. They say my dad is only good for building things. They say my mom is just a babysitter. They say we're not good enough." Mr. Thompson's face grew serious. "That is not okay," he said. "You should not have to listen to that." I felt tears coming, even though I tried to stop them. "I don't want to make it worse," I said. "If I tell, everyone will think I'm a tattletale." He nodded. "That's a hard choice, but what they're doing is wrong. You are stronger than you think, Emily, and you are not alone." I wiped my eyes fast. I just wish I could be invisible. He gave me a small smile. "You know, writing is a way to use your voice even when it feels weak. Maybe you could write about how you feel. Sometimes words can change things. I was surprised. Could I really do that? He handed me a sticky note with his email on it. If you want to share your writing with someone, I'd like to read it. Only if you want, he said. I closed my fingers around the note. Thank you, Mr. Thompson. I'll try. I walked home, the wind cold on my cheeks. My mom waited at the kitchen table, gratting papers. She looked up and saw my red eyes. Bad day, my mom asked. I nodded, not trusting myself to speak. She pulled me into a hug. You are my brave girl, she said softly. But I did not feel brave. I felt small and angry, and I did not know how to make it stop. That night in bed, a plan started to form. Maybe, just maybe, I could write a story. Maybe I could show everyone how it felt to be me. I reached for my notebook in the dark, heart racing. And as I put my pen to paper, I heard a noise outside my window. My heart jumped. Was someone out there? I froze, listening, wondering if my secret plan was safe. I sat at my desk pretending to do homework. My pencil kept shaking in my hand. I actually stared at the same math problem for 15 minutes. My head buzzed with all the mean words Lily and Sarah said at school. I kept hearing their voices over and over, making me feel smaller each time. My mom walked by with a mug of tea. She put her hand on my shoulder and said, Emily, your light, been on forever. Are you okay? I swallowed hard. I'm just tired, Mom, I said. She knelt beside me. Her eyes looked worried. Sweetie, is someone bothering you at school? She said. I felt a lump in my throat. I tried to act strong, but it was impossible. The tears just came all at once. It's Lily and Sarah, I said. My voice cracked. They keep saying mean things about you and Dad. They say your job is easy and Dad's is dirty. They say they feel sorry for me. My mom hugged me tight. Oh, Emily, she said quietly. They don't know us. They don't know how hard your dad works or how much I love teaching. I sobbed harder. Why do they hate us, Mom? What did we do? She rubbed my hair. Some people aren't happy with themselves, so they try to hurt others. I was bullied too when I was your age. My eyes grew wide. You were. She nodded. Yes, there was a girl named Karen. She teased me every day because I wore the same coat every winter. She made me feel small. My mom's voice was soft, but sad too. What did you do? I asked. I tried to ignore it, but inside it always hurt, she said. But over time, I learned that what matters is what kind of person you are, not the job you have or what you wear. Just then my dad came in, dust on his jeans, his hands rough and spotted with paint. Someone crying in here, he said gently, putting his toolbox down. It's just school stuff, I said. I wiped my nose with my sleeve and looked away. What happened? He said. He pulled up a chair. Talk to me, kiddo. I sniffled and told him everything. How Lily called him a nail banger. How Sarah called Mom a babysitter. How they made the whole cafeteria laugh at us. He looked at his hands and then at me. Emily, these hands built half this town, he said. Every callus, every scar, every one of them means I did something real. I'm proud of what I do, even if other people don't understand. But it's not fair, I said. Their parents are rich. No one ever picks on them. He smiled a little. Rich doesn't mean better. A good life isn't about money, but about what you build out here and in here. He tapped his chest. I stared at him. Why don't you fight back? Why don't you talk to Lily's dad? He's the reason she's so mean. Dad looked at Mom, then back at me. Sometimes standing up for yourself is the best thing to do, he said. But sometimes you have to pick your battles. Her father cares more about his own status than about what's right. Mom nodded. And sometimes the best way to prove people wrong is to live with dignity and keep doing good work. I tried to hold all their advice in my head, but I still felt mad. I just want it to stop, I said. I want people to know how awesome you both are. Mom put her hands over mine. We know how awesome you are, Emily. Don't forget that. Dad grinned. Why don't we go talk to your school counselor tomorrow, together? Maybe she can help. At first, I felt a glimmer of hope. We all needed help. I nodded and said, okay, let's do it. The next morning, we met Mrs. Parks, the counselor. Her office was covered in art made by little kids. I sat down with my parents on either side. "We're here because Emily is being bullied," my mom said. Mrs. Parks smiled politely, but her eyes looked nervous. "Who is bullying you, Emily?" she asked. I told her everything. Lily, Sarah, the jokes, and the taunts. Mrs. Parks sighed. "Lily's parents are big donors," she said. "It's difficult, but we'll try to talk to them." I saw my dad's jaw clench. I felt angry, too. It felt like nobody could help us. When we left, I said, "Why does it feel like they don't want to help?" My dad looked down. "Sometimes people are afraid to stand up to the powerful." Mom hugged me. "But we can stand up for ourselves, Em, and that's what matters most." That night, lying in bed, I stared at the ceiling. I could hear Lily's laughter in my head, but I remembered what my parents said. Maybe I could prove them wrong, not by fighting, but by being the best me. I made a promise to myself. I was going to show everyone just how strong I could be. That's when my phone buzzed. It was a text from Lily. My whole body froze as I read the message. "Tomorrow will be worse for you." I felt fear rush through me. I had no idea what she was planning. I sat in English class, tapping my foot on the floor. I could not think about anything except Lily's text message. The words, "Tomorrow will be worse for you," kept rolling in my mind, making my stomach twist and ache. I felt scared, but also angry. Why did it always have to be me? Mr. Thompson was reading out loud, but I barely heard him. My hands shook. My eyes burned. I wanted to run away, but I knew I had to face school. I promised myself, "Just get through today, Emily." But it was so hard. After class, Megan caught up with me in the hallway. She saw my face and frowned. "What's wrong?" she said. I shoved my phone at her and said, "Look," pointing at the nasty message from Lily. Megan read it and her eyes went wide. "That's so mean. She cannot get away with this, Em." I whispered, "I feel like everyone is against me. The school won't help. Lily's parents are too rich. Nobody cares what happens to me." Megan put an arm around my shoulders. "That's not true. I care. Your parents care. Mr. Thompson cares. Besides, you're smarter than her. You don't have to be afraid." I bit my lip, but I am afraid every day. Megan squeezed my arm. "Let's go outside at lunch. Stay away from her group." I said, "Okay," but my voice was small. When lunch came, Megan and I sat at a bench behind the band room. I tried to eat, but my sandwich tasted like nothing. Megan tried to make me laugh, talking about the funny song she wrote on her guitar. Still, my mind kept wandering to Lily and what she might do. Suddenly, we heard voices coming closer. I peeked around the corner. Lily was there, with Sarah trailing after her. They were coming straight for us. My heart thudded hard in my chest. Lily called, "Well, look, Emily's hiding with her little friend. Are you afraid of the cafeteria now?" I stood up fast. "No," I said, but my voice was shaking. Sarah looked at the ground and did not meet my eyes. Lily smirked. "Did you like my text last night?" Lily said. "It's just the beginning. Everyone is going to know what a loser you are. We're going to tell everyone about your parents' jobs. Maybe we'll write it on the bathroom mirror." She started to laugh. Megan stepped in front of me. "Stop it, Lily. You're just cruel. Why do you even care about Emily's parents? At least they have real jobs, not just money." Lily's face turned red. "Shut up, Megan. You don't even belong here either. Go write a dumb song about it." I felt so mad. I shouted, "Why do you do this, Lily? Why me? What did I ever do to you?" She rolled her eyes. "Because it's easy, because you're weak, and you act like you're better than everyone, but you're not." My eyes filled with tears. I hated her words. I hated that she called me weak. "I'm not weak," I said. My voice was louder now. "I'm tired of you. I'm tired of being afraid." Lily stepped closer. "You should be afraid. No one stands up to me." Sarah's voice shook as she said, "Lily, maybe we should go. This is too much." But Lily didn't move. Megan took my hand. "We're leaving, Lily. Go bother someone else." She pulled me away. Lily shouted after us, "Just wait, Emily. You're going to regret this." I heard other kids whispering as we passed. Some stared. I felt so embarrassed. I wanted to crawl into a hole and hide. Back in class, Mr. Thompson caught my eye. "Emily, see me after school, please," he said. I spent the whole class thinking he was mad at me, or maybe that he had heard Lily's lies. My palms were cold and damp. After the final bell, I packed my bag slowly. I walked up to Mr. Thompson's desk, feeling shaky. He smiled softly. "Hey, Emily, I've noticed you're not yourself lately. Do you want to talk?" I stared at my shoes. Tears threatened to spill again. "I feel like everyone hates me," I said, my voice cracking. "Lily is telling lies and making fun of my family. She sent me a scary message. I don't know what to do." He looked very serious now. "Thank you for telling me," he said. "This is not your fault. You should never have to feel afraid at school." I looked up, but the school counselor said it would be hard to punish Lily because her parents give money. No one will listen to me. Mr. Thompson leaned forward. "Emily, sometimes people in power are wrong, but you have a voice too. You're a good writer. Have you ever thought of using your words to tell your story?" I blinked in surprise. "You mean write about what is happening?" "Yes," he said. "Stories change people's minds. You can start by writing just for you, but maybe one day you can share it." I nodded, feeling a tiny spark of hope. "Would you give it a try, Emily?" he said again. I whispered, "Okay, I'll try." He smiled. "I know you can do it." I walked home thinking about Mr. Thompson's words. I could not shake the fear, but a new idea was growing in my mind. That night, I sat down with my journal. As I began to write, I heard my phone beep again. My hands started to shake. I picked it up and read the new message. It said, "Tomorrow you'll be sorry for talking back." My heart pounded. What was Lily planning now? I didn't want to get out of bed. My chest felt heavy, and my head was full of all the mean words from Lily's texts. Still, Mom called me to wake up, so I forced myself up and got dressed as slow as I could. Dad was already gone to work. The kitchen was quiet, except for Mom stirring her coffee. She looked at me with soft eyes. "You're up early," she said. I just shrugged. Couldn't sleep. My voice sounded weak. She touched my hand. "You seem worried, honey." I wanted to tell her everything. I almost did. But instead I said, "I'm fine, Mom." I grabbed my bag and left before she could ask more questions. School felt scarier than ever. The second I walked inside, I saw Lily whispering to a group of kids. As soon as she noticed me, she smiled that cold, fake smile. "Here she comes," Lily said loud enough for everyone to hear. I kept my head down, walking fast. I could hear kids laughing behind me, but I didn't look back. I tried to find Megan, but she was nowhere in sight. My heart beat faster. When I opened my locker, I gasped. Someone had taped a sign to my locker that said, "Carpenter's kid equals loser." I felt my face get hot. People nearby laughed and pointed. I tore the sign down, my hands shaking. Suddenly, Sarah was next to me. She gave me a sad look. "Sorry, Emily," she said. "I didn't want to do it, but Lily made me." I glared at her. "You didn't have to," I said. My voice was sharp. Sarah looked scared. "If I don't, she'll come for me too." "That's not a good excuse," I said. Sarah bit her lip and walked away. I felt tears prick my eyes, but I forced myself not to cry. I just wanted to disappear. At lunch, Megan finally found me. "Em, why didn't you text me this morning?" she said. I swallowed hard. "I didn't want you to get involved," I said. "It's getting worse, Meg." Megan's face was angry. "I saw the sign on your locker. That was really mean. We need help, Emily. This isn't just teasing anymore, it's bullying." "But nobody does anything," I said. "The counselor didn't help. The teachers always look away." "Did you talk to Mr. Thompson?" Megan asked. I nodded. "He said to write my story. He thinks words can change things." Megan squeezed my arm. "That's smart. You should do it. I'll help." "Thanks," I said. My voice was so small. "I just feel so alone." "You're not alone," Megan said. "I'm here, and your parents love you so much. Don't give up, okay?" I almost smiled. "Okay," I said softly. Later in class, I kept my head down. When I looked up, I saw Lily staring at me. Her eyes were hard. She mouthed, "Watch out." My heart skipped. What else was she planning? After school, I hurried out. But Deputy Johnson, the school police officer, was standing by the doorway. He called out, "Emily, got a minute?" I felt my throat close up. Yeah," I said. He looked kind but serious. "Your teacher told me about some problems. Want to talk about it?" I nodded, afraid to say more. He leaned in. "I know it's scary. Bullies try to make you feel small, but they only win if you stay silent. Did you get any threats?" I stared at the floor. She sent me texts and put signs up. He wrote something on a pad. "You can always talk to me, Emily. If it feels too big or you feel unsafe, you tell an adult every time. That's how things change." My voice shook. But what if Lily gets mad? What if it gets even worse? Deputy Johnson nodded. "Sometimes things get tough before they get better, but you're not alone. Many kids go through this. Don't keep it inside, okay?" "Okay," I said. It felt strange, but a tiny bit better. He handed me his card. "Call if you need me," he said. I walked home thinking about what everyone said. Mr. Thompson wanted me to write. Megan wanted me to fight back. Deputy Johnson wanted me to speak up. I wanted it all to just stop. At dinner, Dad asked, "How was school?" I almost lied, but then I heard Mom say gently, "We're here for you, honey." I looked at both of them. "It was really hard today," I said. "Someone put a mean sign on my locker, and Lily sent me scary texts." Dad's face turned red. Mom made a soft, sad sound. "Emily, I wish I could make them stop," Dad said. "Me too," I whispered. Dad squeezed my hand. "Remember what I always say, honest work is nothing to be ashamed of. Some people just don't understand." Mom nodded. "And no matter what, we love you." We all hugged. For once, I felt a little stronger. After dinner, I opened my notebook. For the first time, I started to write my story. My hand shook, but I kept writing. I wrote how it felt to be picked on and how brave I wanted to be. Then my phone buzzed again. My heart jumped. Another message, but this one was different. It said, "Tomorrow, everyone will know your secret." I stared at it, frozen. What secret did Lily mean? Had she found something out about me, or was she just trying to scare me again? I shut my notebook, heart pounding. I didn't know what was going to happen next, but I felt more scared than ever. Megan met me outside school the next morning. She looked worried. "Did you get any sleep?" she said. I shook my head. "Not really," I said. "Lily keeps sending me messages." Megan frowned. "Did she say anything new?" I nodded and handed her my phone. "She said everyone would know my secret today. I don't even know what secret she means." Megan's face turned red. "She's just trying to scare you." She squeezed my arm. "Don't let her win." But I felt scared anyway. All morning my hands shook, my stomach hurt. I kept thinking, what did she mean? What could she say about me? In homeroom, people whispered and stared at me. I saw Sarah sitting by the window, looking at her desk and not meeting my eyes. Lily walked past me and smirked. I tried to sit tall, but I felt so small. When the bell rang, I rushed to my locker. I wanted to check if Lily had taped another sign to it. There was nothing there, but my heart wouldn't calm down. At lunch, Megan and I sat together, but I could barely eat. "You want half my cookie?" Megan asked, trying to make me smile. I shook my head. "No, thanks, I feel sick." Just then, the cafeteria doors slammed open. Lily strolled in with her friends, talking too loudly. She walked up on the stage and waved her phone. "Hey, everyone," Lily called out. My heart started to pound so fast, I thought I might faint. "Lily, what's she doing?" Megan whispered. I shook my head. "I don't know," I said, but my hands were clammy. From the stage, Lily kept talking. "So, you all know Emily, right? The girl who acts all quiet but thinks she's better than us. I thought I'd tell you about her family. Her dad's just a carpenter and her mom's just a teacher. Isn't that sad?" People started to snicker. Some looked confused. Others just stared at me. My eyes filled with tears. I tried to wipe them away before anyone saw. My face felt like it was on fire. "She doesn't have fancy stuff like us," Lily went on, because her parents can't afford it. Maybe they should work harder. Megan stood up and shouted, "Stop being so mean, Lily." Everyone turned to stare. Lily rolled her eyes. "Oh, look, it's her little guard dog. Maybe you two can write a sad song together." That hurt Megan, I could tell, but she didn't sit down. "Emily is way better than you," Megan said, her voice shaking but strong. "At least her parents know what real work is. What do your parents even do besides write checks?" Some kids laughed. Lily's face twisted. She looked so angry. "Don't talk about my parents, Megan," she snapped. Megan glared, then stopped talking about Emily's. Lily turned back to the crowd. "I bet Emily is too weak to stand up for herself. She wouldn't dare say anything. She's just—" "I'm not weak," I shouted, surprising even myself. My whole body shook, but I couldn't stay quiet any longer. "You don't have to be rich to have a good life. At least my parents are kind and they help people." The whole room went quiet. I could hear my own breathing. Lily stared at me. For a second, she actually looked surprised. Then she laughed, but it sounded shaky. "You're all losers," she said, jumping off the stage with her friends. People were still staring. Some of them were whispering, but others just looked away. Megan hugged me. "That was brave, Em, really brave." I tried to smile, but my mouth was trembling. "I can't believe I yelled back," I said. Megan squeezed my shoulder. She deserved it. I wanted to believe Megan, but fear crept back into my chest. What would Lily do now? She never let anyone embarrass her like that. Would she get even worse? Was I really safer just staying quiet, or should I keep speaking out? Later in the hallway, Sarah walked up behind me. She whispered, "I'm sorry, Emily." She looked scared. "Lily's mad, really mad." My stomach twisted again. "What is she going to do?" I asked. Sarah shook her head. "I don't know, but she's planning something." Right then, the loudspeaker crackled overhead. "Emily Carter, please come to the principal's office." Megan grabbed my hand. "Do you want me to come with you?" she whispered. I nodded, trying not to cry again, as we both headed down the hall. My mind raced. Why did they want me? Did I do something wrong by yelling back? Was Lily already telling lies about me? The principal's door was just ahead. My heart hammered hard. I wished I knew what was waiting for me on the other side. The principal's office felt colder than I expected. My shoes made soft squeaks on the shiny floor. I squeezed Megan's hand as hard as I could. My other hand twisted the strap on my backpack. I tried to guess why I was called here. Was I in trouble for yelling at lunch? Did Lily finally get what she wanted? The secretary smiled at me, but it didn't help calm me down. "You can go in, Emily," she said. I glanced at Megan. She whispered, "You can do this. I'll wait right here." I nodded and opened the door. Mr. Wilkins, the principal, was at his desk. His gray hair was messy, and he looked tired. My heart thumped hard. "Come in, Emily. Have a seat," he said. His voice sounded kind, but also worried. I sat down. I tried to hide how scared I was. He folded his hands on the desk and looked at me. "I heard what happened in the cafeteria," he said. "Would you like to tell me your side of the story?" I nodded. My voice felt tiny, but I started. "Lily has been bullying me for weeks. She makes fun of my family. She sends mean messages. She put signs on my locker." He sighed. "Did you tell anyone before today?" I looked down. I told the counselor. She didn't do much. He frowned. "I'm sorry about that. Teachers should help when you feel unsafe." I felt tears in my eyes. "I just want it to stop. I just want to feel normal at school." He nodded. "That's what we want too, Emily." I tried to breathe slowly. I told him about the sign, about Lily's messages, and about how she laughed at my parents' jobs. I told him how scared I had been to come to school. He looked sad. "None of that is your fault, Emily. You didn't do anything wrong." I said, "But I yelled at her today, in front of everyone." He shook his head. "You were standing up for yourself. Sometimes when we feel trapped, we need to speak out. I'm glad you did today." His words made me feel a little stronger. "I don't want Lily to ruin my life," I said. My hands still shook. He said, "We'll have to look into this, but I promise you're not alone. I'll talk to Lily and her parents too." I stared at my lap. Her parents are rich. They always get their way. He leaned forward, voice gentle. That doesn't mean she gets to hurt you, Emily. No one is above the rules. Just then, the door opened. Sarah poked her head in. She looked even more nervous than me. Mr. Wilkins, can I say something? Sarah said. He nodded. Come in, Sarah. She sat in the chair next to me and glanced at me, chewing her lip. I'm sorry for what we did, she said. Lily made me do it, but it was still wrong. Emily never did anything to us. Tears slid down my cheeks. Why did you help her? I said. Sarah's eyes filled with tears, too. I was scared. Lily's so mean if you don't go along with her. But it's not right. I'm sorry, Emily. I believed her. I saw the regret in her face. Mr. Wilkins said, Thank you, Sarah. That was brave. Now I hope you'll do the right thing from now on. Sarah nodded fast. I will, I promise. The door opened again, this time with a loud knock. My heart jumped. My mom walked in. She looked worried but hugged me tight as soon as she saw me. Honey, are you okay? She said. I tried to nod. I'm okay now, I said. Just sad. Mr. Wilkins explained everything to Mom. He promised they would make things right. Mom squeezed my shoulder. I'm proud of you for speaking up, she said. Just then my phone buzzed in my pocket. I peeked at it. There was a new message from Lily. My heart started pounding again. I showed my mom and the principal. The message said, You think you're safe now, you're not. Mr. Wilkins frowned. We take this seriously. Emily, you did the right thing by telling us. Mom hugged me again. I wanted to feel safe, but I couldn't. I wiped my tears, afraid of what Lily would do next. Mr. Wilkins said softly, We're calling your dad to meet us. You can stay here until you're ready. I nodded. My mind raced. I felt scared, but this time I also felt a little hope. I wasn't alone anymore. As I sat in that office, a strange thought crept in. What if Lily never stopped? What would she do now that everyone knew? I looked at my mom and then at Sarah. I wondered if things would ever be normal again. When I got home that day, I dropped my bag by the door and went straight to my room. Everything inside me felt twisted tight, like a knot I couldn't untangle. My eyes kept filling with tears, so I pressed my face into my pillow. After a few minutes, I heard a knock at my door. It was Mom. She came in and sat beside me. She didn't say anything for a while, she just waited. Finally, I whispered, What if it never stops, Mom? What if Lily always finds ways to hurt me? Mom smoothed my hair. I wish I could promise you it will be easy, Emily, she said, but I'm here for you. Your dad is here for you too. You are not alone. I choked out. I don't feel strong like you. I feel so small and embarrassed. She squeezed my hand. I was bullied too, remember? Sometimes you feel powerless because others are afraid to stand up. But it's okay to feel angry. It's okay to cry. Dad came in then, smelling like sawdust. He sat on the bed across from us. "Want to talk, Em?" he said, his voice gentle. "It's just everything," I said, voice shaky. "Lily keeps sending me threats, even after I told the principal." Dad's jaw tightened. "People like that hate to lose control. Don't let her have power over your heart." I blinked back more tears. But what if nothing changes? She always finds ways to win. Her parents have so much money. Nobody wants to make her mad. Dad's eyes softened. "Just because someone's rich doesn't mean they get to treat you badly. I'm proud of my work, and your mom is too. I'd rather have my hands dirty than my heart dirty." Mom nodded. "We raised you to be kind and brave. That's worth more than any job title." I looked at both of them. "What should I do now?" I asked. Dad said, "I think you should do what you do best, Em. You should write. Show them how smart and strong you are." Mom agreed. "You have a gift for telling stories. If you write the truth, someone will listen." I stared at my notebook on the desk. For a second, I just looked at it. What if people laugh at me? What if no one cares? Dad smiled a little. "You won't know unless you try." After dinner, I sat at my desk. My heart thudded. I opened my notebook and started to write. I wrote about the day Lily laughed at my dad's old truck and how Sarah repeated her words. I wrote about how the cafeteria felt when everyone stared. I even wrote about how scared I was to come to school each morning. Suddenly, my phone buzzed. I jumped, afraid it was Lily again, but it was a message from Megan. She said, "Are you okay? Want to talk?" I texted her back. I started writing. "I think I'm going to show Mr. Thompson." She answered right away. "That's awesome. I'll read it too if you want. I'm proud of you." Her words made me feel a tiny bit braver. I asked, "Did you hear anything today? Is Lily mad?" Megan replied, "Yes, she's been stomping around and complaining to everyone, but she's only angry because you finally stood up to her." I smiled for the first time all day. I wrote, "Thanks, Megan, you mean a lot to me." Dad knocked on my door. "Can you help me in the garage, Em?" he asked. I followed him outside. The garage smelled like wood and paint. Dad pointed to a rough piece of wood on his work table. "Want to help me sand this?" I nodded and took the sandpaper. As I worked, Dad talked softly. "When I was your age, people teased me too. My dad was a janitor. I used to hide my lunch because I was embarrassed." I looked at him, surprised. "You did?" He laughed a little. "Yeah, but then one day my dad told me, what matters is what kind of person you are, not what you do for work." I never forgot that. "So you remember, Em, we are proud of you, always." I blinked back tears. "Thanks, Dad." When we finished, I went inside, wiped sawdust from my hands, and looked at my notebook again. My story was messy, but it was real. Maybe it could help someone else feel less alone. As I got ready for bed, my phone buzzed again. This time it was from Mr. Thompson. His message said, "I'd like to talk to you tomorrow. I have an idea." My heart thudded with both hope and fear. Did he want to help me share my story? Or was trouble coming next? I set my alarm extra early, wondering what the next day would bring. When I got to school the next morning, my heart was beating so fast. I wondered what Mr. Thompson wanted to talk about. I kept picturing Lily's angry face. I felt nervous, but also a little excited. Maybe something would finally change. In first period, Mr. Thompson found me before the bell rang. He smiled kindly and said, "Emily, can you come to my room after class?" I nodded and whispered, "Yes." All during class, I could not focus. My hands trembled. Megan poked me with her pen and whispered, "Are you okay?" "I don't know," I said, shaking my head. "Mr. Thompson wants to see me." Megan tried to smile. "He likes you, Em. He wouldn't call you in unless he believed you could do something." Her words cheered me a little, but I still felt nervous. As soon as the bell rang, I hurried to Mr. Thompson's room. He closed the door behind us. "Don't worry, Emily," he said. "This is good. I read your story." My eyes went wide. "You did?" He nodded. "You wrote about the bullying with so much honesty. It's powerful. I want you to know you have a gift." I felt a warm feeling rise in my chest. "Thank you," I said, "but what should I do now?" He smiled. "I want you to publish part of your story in the school paper. You can use a fake name if you want." My mouth fell open. "But won't people know it's me?" He nodded. "Maybe, but maybe they won't. Maybe it doesn't matter. What matters is that kids like you see they're not alone." I thought for a second. "I'm scared, Mr. Thompson. What if Lily finds out?" He looked serious. "Standing up is scary, but it's also brave. It will help others and maybe even help you heal. You decide, Emily. The paper is ready when you are." My stomach felt full of butterflies. "I'll think about it," I said. He nodded. "Whatever you choose, I'm here for you." I left his room and hurried to find Megan. She stood by my locker, waiting. "Well," she said. I told her everything. I told her about the story and the school paper. Megan grinned. "This is amazing, Em. You have to do it." I chewed my lip. What if everyone gets mad at me? What if it just makes things worse? Megan shook her head. "The truth always matters. You're helping so many kids who feel the same way." I stared down at the floor. "Okay, I'll do it, but I want you to read it first. Is that okay?" She hugged me. "Of course that's okay. I'm proud of you." At lunch, I found a quiet spot and read my story out loud to Megan. When I finished, she wiped her eyes. "It's perfect, Emily," she said. You said what I wish I could say sometimes." Her words gave me courage. After school, I found Mr. Thompson and handed him the pages. "I'm ready," I said. My voice shook, but I meant it. He grinned. "You're stronger than you think, Emily. I'll let you know when it goes to print." That night, all I could think about was the story. I wondered what people would think when they read it. Would they laugh? Would they be angry? Or would someone else finally stand up too? The next morning, the school paper was everywhere. I saw kids reading it in the halls. Some pointed to a page and nodded. Some looked serious. All day, the story was the only thing anyone could talk about. At lunch, Lily stormed over to my table. She slammed her hand down. "You wrote this, didn't you?" she said. "Everyone knows it's you." My heart pounded. I tried to be brave. "You don't know that," I said. She glared at me. "You think people will take your side now? You're such a loser." Suddenly, Sarah stood up. She faced Lily and said, "Emily's not a loser. She only told the truth. You know what you did, Lily." The whole cafeteria went silent. Lily's face turned red. "You're all traitors," she shouted, stomping away. I looked at Sarah. She smiled a little and moved to my side of the table. Megan whispered, "Do you feel better?" I nodded, surprised that I really did. I felt stronger. I wasn't alone anymore. But later that day, someone scribbled "liar" on my locker. There was no proof, but I knew Lily had done it. I stared at the word and wondered what would happen next. Would things get darker before they got better? Or had I finally started to change something, one small story at a time? When I woke up on graduation day, it felt like a dream. For years, I thought I would never make it. The memories of all those hard days made my heart beat faster. I looked at the cap and gown on my chair and touched them with shaky hands. I felt proud, but mostly I felt nervous. Mom knocked on my door and peeked in. "Ready to walk across that stage," she said, smiling. I shook my head. "I'm scared, Mom." She came in and hugged me tight. "You should be proud of yourself, Emily. You didn't give up, not ever." I said, "I wanted to so many times. Everyone always looked at me like I didn't belong here. Even now, I feel like the old Emily, the girl everyone picked on." Mom pulled back and looked at me softly. "You are not that girl anymore. You have grown into someone strong." Dad appeared in the doorway, holding his phone to take a picture. "My valedictorian," he said, grinning. I started to cry a little. He hugged me too, careful not to wrinkle my gown. On the way to school, Megan texted me. "I'm here early, saving a seat for you. I'm so proud." I smiled and felt lighter. Megan had stayed by my side all the way through high school and even college. She was the friend I'd always hoped for. In the gym, everyone was rushing around. I saw Lily standing alone in the far corner. She had her fancy gold cords, but her eyes looked sad. She didn't glance at me. She just kept looking down at the ground. I felt a twist in my chest. There were so many things I wanted to say to her, but now none of them seemed important. I turned and took my seat at the front with the other top students. Kids were talking about their futures, big colleges, travel, dreams. For once, I joined in. Mr. Thompson found me just before the ceremony started. "Are you ready?" he said. I nodded. "I think so. Thank you for everything, Mr. Thompson." He looked proud. "You earned every bit of this. Go show them what you can do." When it was my turn for my speech, my knees shook. I stood at the podium looking at all the faces. Some I knew, some I would never see again. I took a deep breath. "There were times," I said, "when I thought I didn't belong here. I worried I wasn't good enough because of where I came from or what my parents did for work. But now I know being proud of who you are is the bravest thing of all." I saw Dad in the front row, squeezing Mom's hand. Megan grinned and wiped a tear from her cheek. My mom taught me to stay kind, even when people were not. My dad showed me that real strength comes from hard work and not giving up. Both of them gave me every reason to be proud of my family and myself. I saw Sarah sitting with the other students. She smiled at me. Lily stared at her shoes. "Wherever life takes us," I said, "I hope we remember, kindness and courage matter more than anything else." People cheered when I finished. All the fear left my body. For the first time in years, I actually felt happy. Later, after the ceremony, Megan rushed over and hugged me. "You crushed it," she said. "You made half the parents cry." I grinned. I almost made myself cry. She laughed. "So what's next, Miss Journalist?" I said, "I start my internship at the newspaper next week. I can't believe it." Dad came up behind us and said, "We are so proud of you, Em. Doesn't matter what anyone else thinks." That afternoon, I watched as people took their last photos. Lily walked by me quietly. She didn't say anything. I wondered for a second if she wanted to, but she didn't. Years passed and life changed. I went to college. I studied even harder. I worked for my hometown paper, first as an intern, then as a real reporter. I covered stories about the people who made our town special, like teachers and carpenters and nurses. People started to say my name with respect. One day, when I was 28, my boss called me into his office. He said, "Emily, we want you to do a big story on the new STEM Academy scholarship. You'll need to interview the top candidates and their parents." I nodded and said, "I'll do my best." I looked at the list of names. My heart skipped a beat. There on the page were two names, Lily's son and Sarah's daughter. A strange feeling washed over me, half fear, half excitement. Would they remember everything from the past? What would they say when I walked into the room as a respected reporter, and they were just parents? I closed my notebook, my mind swirling with questions. Had we all really changed, or were some things always the same underneath? I took a deep breath and got ready for the interviews, wondering if old hurts could ever really fade, or if this story was just beginning.